Hey now, Dad Brow coming at you. Today, we want to show you how we use the Colts Gun Bunch Offset playbook. We've got 6 plays that we like to run a ton of, so we're going to cover some audibles, some setups, we'll talk a little bit of coverage, but hey, this is very basic bunch stuff. If you already know your stuff, this probably isn't for you, but if you struggle on offense, if you don't like to read defenses, or you just want a new scheme, take a look at this. Alright, so today we want to show you the basics of Gun Bunch Offset. There's a lot of bunch books out there, and there's like 6 Gun Bunch Offset books, but only a few of them have some key plays in it, one of them being double post. So we want to show you how we like to run it, the setups we have. We talk audibles, we talk red zone. We're not going to overcomplicate things and show you every single coverage. We're just going to run against random coverages in practice mode. But we want to show you the setups, and hopefully you feel a lot more comfortable trying to run Gun Bunch after you watch some of this. Okay, some housekeeping notes for people that aren't too familiar with practice mode. It's not a perfect replication of head-to-head, but it's pretty close. But it helps if you have a second controller so we can make our defensive adjustments and mess with the depth chart a lot easier. While we're on the topic of the depth chart, the defensive line in practice mode will shed on your offensive line like crazy. So I go in and reorder it, and I make sure I put the worst people at defensive line. On the flip side, the corners I go against, I want to make sure the speed is ordered 1, 2, 3. That's why we like to practice against the Redskins. They've got some pretty fast corners. Plus, they have 3-3-5 wide in their playbook, and that's basically most of the defense you're going to see, so we might as well practice against that. You cannot adjust zone drops in this mode, so some of the defensive looks you see in here are going to play out differently in head-to-head if your opponent's good at adjusting zone drops and mixing up their coverages. And then also we go through on offense and we make sure our wide receivers are set up with speed, 1, 2, and 3, whoever the fastest receivers are. So on defense, we're just going to pick 3-3-5 wide here, and then if you click on the left thumbstick, you can pick a random 3-3-5 wide play. That'll help you just see what the different plays and different setups will look like against different coverages. So moving down the offense, we're looking at the Gun Bunch Offset, and I like to set my audibles first thing, and the way I set them up might be different than how you set them up. I'd say put the 4 plays that you're going to feel most comfortable with. I like having spacing switch here. I like having inside zone split. Verts I don't run as often as some of my other plays, so I do sub that out, and I like to put in double post. And then here at the PA read, we'd like to put in flood, because that's going to be the play that we're going to run a ton. So those are the 4 audibles I like to have, even though we like to run these 6 plays. I like to call mesh post or call halfback verts under. I can always audible into one of these, but always make sure you have a run play to check into. That's so crucial, no matter what offense, but especially here in bunch. So a couple things before we bust into this first play. We want to run bunch plays from a hash, whether it's the left or the right. We just want to make sure almost every time that our bunch set of receivers have the most space open. So if we're on the left hash mark, we want it to look like this. If we're on the other hash mark, we would flip it and have it look the other way. When we're trying to run our run play here, if the defensive tackle has inside stuff or some run abilities, you might want to double team them. So if you're not familiar with that, you press LB, you flick down on the right stick, and then you can move around and pick whoever you want to double team. Most of the time it's going to be this nose tackle right here, but just in case you see that, otherwise they're going to get sheds and stop you in the backfield. So when we set up this play, there's 4 different ways we want to make it look. The first way we want to make it look is just stock. You can come out of the huddle, you can do that double team real quick, and you can still quick hike people. By the way, we're not holding down on speed bursts when we hand the ball off. Don't do that. It's very, very bad. We need to be able to make cuts. We need our blockers to hold on to their blocks, and it's hard to do that when you're holding down on the speed boost. So just once again, we just run that. We're looking for the hole. No speed boost, get through there. And the purpose of this play, most of the time, we're not trying to rush for 200 yards a game with it. We just want to keep our opponent guessing, and we want to keep the ball on a hash. So the second way we want it to look, we want to motion over our point receiver right here. If it's a physical receiver that's big, that can help, especially if people are bringing pressure a lot. So if we motion them over, we can hike as soon as they get on the outside of our line, try and find a hole. If not, no big deal, because halfback inside zone, it's just to keep our opponent guessing or to keep getting on a hash. So once again, you just motion over. As soon as they get here, we hike the ball, we try and find a hole, we try and pick up some yardage, control field position, maybe pick up a few yards to make our other plays set up differently. So the next setup here with inside zone split, we just motion over Campbell, but this time we want to let him stop and set, because there's a pass play that we're going to make look exactly like this. So once we let him stop, I throw in a couple fake hot routes just to make the opponent think that we're still passing, and then bust this open, maybe take this to the outside here, try and look for a spin, and that play can be deadly when your opponent thinks you're passing. So it's important to make your looks on this run play, make it look exactly like your pass play is. That way your opponent is guessing the entire time. As soon as they know 100% this guy's running here, or 100% this guy's passing here, you're making their job easier. So the last setup for it, we're going to go over to our receiver over here, T.Y. Hilton, and we're going to motion him out and hike the ball right before he gets to the numbers. And that's going to look exactly like another pass play we're going to set up here. So this is inside zone split, but it's actually 4 different run plays. And once you get familiar with what defenses are stopping certain looks, you'll know which one you want to check into or which one you want to throw at your opponent. I can't stress to you enough, even if you end the game with 10 rushing attempts for 28 yards, if you make this look like your pass plays, you're going to be effective with it. All right, first pass play, and the one you might call the most, is going to be flood. There's a few different setups, but the most basic one, we want to come right out of the huddle and put our halfback on an out route. So play art's going to look like this, and our quick read play on this is our halfback or our tight end. Just depends on what the defense looks like. If you're not great at reading defenses, just do the math. On our bunch side of the offense, if there's 3 corners, chances are you're going to want to look to the halfback here. If there's not that many defensive backs on the right hand side, then your tight end's going to be wide open. Tight end could still be open when there's only 3 defensive backs, but that's just a good rule of thumb for people that aren't comfortable reading the defense. So we hike the ball here. I'm looking at the halfback. As soon as he hits his break, I want to hit him. I want to rack catch it. Probably spin sometimes, break some tackles. If you have Cordero Patterson or some of the bigger halfbacks, they're really good at that. So the tight end here is what I'm going to look at next. I'm going to hike this ball. He hits this flat route if he doesn't get bumped like that, because Jack Doyle is slow and stupid. But you can imagine if that's Vernon Davis, if that's Darren Waller, there's a lot of times they're going to come right off the line there and be wide open. You can rack catch that and pick up some huge yardage. He gets picked up here, so I'm probably not normally going to throw that, but for the purpose of what we're trying to do, it's either halfback or tight end. You hike the ball, 1,000, we need to get rid of it. Halfback, tight end's open, we're going to hit the tight end. This will look a lot different when you have a quarterback that has some passing abilities too. Carson Wentz and Jack Doyle aren't going to light the practice world on fire here. So when we have this setup, let's say you're getting blitzed a lot, or people are bringing pressure, or your offensive line just isn't showing up. You can block your tight end here with the same setup, and now I'm probably going to look for Paris Campbell, or I'm going to look for Doolin over the middle if Paris Campbell isn't open. So we hike here. Once Paris Campbell hits his break here, yep, we should be able to get a secure catch. Easy 15-20 yard pickups. These are great for 3rd and 11 too, if you're trying to pick up that big chunk yardage. Once again, we want to put the halfback on the out route and block the tight end, or some people like to put the halfback on the option route. So for those of you who don't know, the option route, your halfback may stop right here on the hitch, or they might continue the out route. Most of the time I like the guaranteed out route, but the option route does have its place. I think it's just something you mess around with. So let's see if we can hit Campbell again here. If he gets open, he's not really open, but Doolin come across the middle, just has all kinds of space. So this play is so good because those routes are open against all kinds of coverages. It's just gonna be up to you to read the defense, make that pass, and it should be 1,000, 2,000. It's gone, or you're rolling out with your quarterback and trying to pick up some yardage that way. So let's see if we can get a read, halfback wide open. If that's Cordero Patterson, he breaks that tackle, that could go for 60, 70 yards. So that's our first flood setup. Okay, another flood setup here, especially if you're getting blitzed. We can put the halfback on an option route. We can block our tight end here. And then we can put Doolin on a hitch. And so what happens when we have this setup here, we motion this guy. 1, it looks like inside zone split, but 2, he's going to be open quite often. Now the halfback option route is still my first look, but this look right here, we want to mix it in with the inside zone look, so that way our opponent, they can't tell. Are we passing? Are we running? It looks the same. It looks the same. So we'll see TY, he's going to cut right here. Once he puts his feet in the ground, he turns his shoulder. I'm firing that ball for first downs quite often, especially in the red zone. 2-point conversion play, I use this quite often because they think I might be running it because I made it look like inside zone the whole time. So even just looking at TY here on those few plays, this is really good. But these other routes that we've been practicing in flood the whole time, they're still going to hold up as well. So keep trying it out, keep messing around, but make the motion look like we make it look when we run inside zone split. And I like the possession catch this here. I'm probably going to have Andre Johnson, my physical receiver, right there because he's pretty strong and people aren't going to jump through an acrobat pick off that play. But this is, once again, just another good setup, especially if you're seeing a lot of pressure. You need to pick up a few yards or you're over here in the red zone. And look, our halfback has been open a couple times. He's open again right there. This is a good setup. All right, so some review with flood. Comes out looking like this. First thing we can do is just put the halfback on this little out route, and we've got a really good play. If you're getting some pressure, we can try and block the tight end, and maybe if the halfback gets picked up, we're looking at Pascal or Campbell coming over the middle. Our next setup could be to put the halfback on an option route, block our tight end, have it just like this. This is good for beating man coverage. Pascal and Campbell should be open quite often. And then the last variation looks just like that. We just put Doolin on a hitch, and we motion him out before we snap it, and we make a read here. Who's going to be open? Looks like we're going to have right over the middle there. So that's flood. We can run this play 16 times and make it look 5 different ways, really. So my first drive, I'm running a ton of inside zone and a ton of flood. We don't want to give away the rest of our looks, and we want to get a feel for what their defense looks like. All right, so on to our favorite play in this playbook. It's double post. It's not in every Gun Bunch offset playbook, so one of the reasons why we run Colts, and it helps the theme team. So this is what it looks like when you call it. You're just going to make one simple adjustment. We're going to put RB on a drag route, so right stick down. Now our play art's going to look like this. Every route on this screen can be open in every coverage in every situation. But the main reads here, this running back out route, if you look, there's not many plays in this game that have a halfback to the left of your quarterback, but running an out route to the right side of the screen. That's one of the things that makes this play unique. The other one is the route that Doolin is running. It either helps make everybody else open, or there's times where that's a one-play touchdown. But for now, our basic reads, RB or Y for the halfbacks. When we hike the ball, we're looking. Who's going to be open here? Looks like wide receiver. Nobody's on him. Once again, if we have a great wide receiver, we can do a spin. We can break some tackles. Or if we just want to pick up 4, 5, 6 yards with this play is fine, because if you keep running it, the other routes will be open. So once again, we're looking at RB or Y. RB gets on the other side of that linebacker, and they're wide open. We'll do it one more time. We'll just focus on Y, because there are times where they're both open, and it's almost just pick whichever one you'd rather have. Your halfback can get caught up at the line sometimes, so be careful there. But as you can see, we can hit this for 4, 5, 6 yards and maybe break some tackles and get extra chunk yardage afterwards. So now, same setup once again, but let's just look at this tight end route. Mo Alley Cox, you can hit him as soon as you hike the ball sometimes because nobody's on him, and it's like that flat route that we run from flood. But once you wait for him to turn this corner, there might be a defender with him, but sometimes that defender is going to stop to try and help cover this running back route, and then you're going to have your tight end open for a touchdown or a big chunk yard. So let's see if we can get it a couple times here. See if the defender defender stayed with them. We're just going to chunk it up and just be real bad with Carson Wentz IRL, right? So here we go again. Once again, this tight end route. Let's see if this can break open for us. You see if he drops his defender. I'm going to try and pass lead it inside here, so there are little windows like that where we can get it. But most cover 2, I'm pretty sure if you have the time, you can hit Mo Alley Cox for this one-play touchdown. This could be a good one. Nope, he's just too slow and stupid. But once again, I hate to say Darren Waller and Kyle Pitts and all these great tight ends, but most of you are running those guys. You're going to see them open a lot. So within that same setup, this time we'll look at this Doolin route. This is deadly. There's not a lot of routes in any of the plays that look like this. And this is one of the reasons why Bunch is nice. You can use already built-in fantastic routes and just make 1 or 2 changes to make them really work for you. There's times where Doolin will be open for a one-play touchdown, and then there's other times where will low point past this. That's left trigger, and There's windows that you can see. If you don't see anybody in the middle of the field, most of the time he's going to be open right here. Low point pass. This is another good one for 3rd and 11. This is another good one on 4th down. If I'm running house rules, that overtime, I probably pick this play first. I block my tight end here just in case they send pressure, and I look for Doolin and see if he's open. We got some coverage out here, but we'll still throw it and see what happens. But this play can go for 20, 25 yards pretty easily just with that low point pass if you let it develop. Some of it comes down to pressure and if you have time. So we'll block the tight end again. Look at Doolin. Let's see what he does here. This could, if we had time, if you saw him, if we have time there, that's a 1-play touchdown. You can hit him and he can burn people. That's why it's important. Sometimes you mix your receivers up. If you feel like you're going to go for this play, maybe you want your fastest receiver right there. So we'll do one more time. See if Doolin gets anything open here. Nice little possession catch. And then same thing for this route on the left side of our screen. I'm not going to just keep running it, but there's going to be times where Paris Campbell's route is going to be open, or you did your first read, you did your second read, nobody was really open, you decided to roll out. Now all of a sudden he breaks off that and starts coming over the middle of the field. So there's a lot of ways this play can be deadly just from this one basic setup, putting RB on that drag route. The other setup for double post, especially if you're getting a lot of pressure, we come out and we do max protect. And when we do max protect, it automatically puts the tight end and the running back in a blocking scenario. We're still going to send our tight end out, but we want him on the drag route. And then we want to put our RB on a hitch. So this setup looks like this. Now, once again, this is great for people that are bringing a ton of screaming blitzes at you. Doolin could be open. Pascal could be open. Your tight end right off the bat could be open. I like the tight end drag route here because most users will follow that. So when you hike the ball, the user's going to follow that drag route, and Pascal can be open real quick, or it's real easy to look and see if Doolin's going to be open. Some people put that other receiver in motion, but if we see here, Doolin, touchdown. So if you see a lot of blitz or a lot of pressure, that's another good setup. Or if you just want to vary up how your looks are when you call double post. So once again, we hit LB for our pass protection. We flip up on the R stick for max protect. It looks like that currently. We're going to put our tight end on the drag, and then we're going to put RB on a hitch route here. Now it looks like this. We could be looking tight end, but most of the time Pascal or Doolin. Let's see what happens here. Doolin's bagged. Now we can do a playmaker, so I flicked right stick there to send that guy out, and you can do some things in space with that. So if you roll out to the right with the quarterback, it can do some things, but most of the time I'm running this setup with double post and just put my tight end and block just to help if I'm getting that. But don't forget, you can do this max protect, drag your tight end, hitch on RB, and then this can help. Maybe 2 times a game I'm putting this out there. But as you can see, Doolin open, low point pass, possession catch, easy first down. So double post, it's our favorite. All right, last play in our audibles is spacing switch. So it looks like this stock, but just a couple adjustments. We do want to put X on a streak to try and make as a decoy, and we want to put RB on a slant. Now there are times where X will be open, but the main read is RB. You're going to know pretty quickly whether you're going to want to throw this ball, but you don't want to throw it quickly. We want to wait till this slant develops and gets a little bit past that middle linebacker. If we feel like they're going to be covered or somebody's user is going to cover that, then we can look for the halfback here or our tight end. So let's hike it a couple times and see. I'm going to make my decision. Should I throw to RB or not? And if not, I'm looking for the halfback. I'm looking for this tight end route. There's going to be times where somebody brings up a cornerback and presses X right there. So if you're good at peeking over there and you see that and you hike the ball and they beat somebody on press, that streak is going to be open a lot too. But let's see what happens here. Pascal's going to be open if Carson Wentz can throw the ball. Once again, if that's a gunslinger or pass lead elite, we're getting a lot more velocity on that ball. We're getting it in that window. So once again, RB on a slant, X on a streak. Let's look here. RB is going to be wide open, right over the middle, big chunks of yardage, especially if somebody's user is not paying attention to that route. Or maybe you just ran a couple other plays and they're worried about what your running back's going to do. So they're looking at the running back. All of a sudden you hike this and then look at RB. Wide open, picking up chunks of yardage. If you feel like you don't have a lot of pressure, you could wait a second to throw it later to try and get way more rack yards. But once again, RB slant, X on a streak. If our RB is open again, yeah, he's open again here. We can possession catch it sometimes. If you feel like your window's down, you can rack catch it, try and go for extra yardage. So this play, basic setup, RB slant, X on a streak. We're looking, RB. Look at that. Now, in head-to-head, a lot of users are going to cover that route, so you're going to have to practice hitting these other routes. The tight end route for Mo Alley Cox is open a lot. Doesn't really happen in practice mode a lot, but here we go. Yep, open. If you get one of them big, beefy tight ends, more broken tackles, more open space. So it's all about making this read. Am I throwing to RB or not? And if I'm not, I got to choose. Am I doing the running back or am I doing my tight end? So hike, RB looks like he's going to be bagged, and we got our halfback here. We hit him in stride, and if we can break some tackles, the possibilities are endless. So that is spacing switch, basic setup. I like it in red zone. I like it in 2-point. I like it in short yardage, or I like it just to vary things up. All right, one of the most deadly routes in this game is the halfback wheel route that is in this play, mesh post. So we want to use that to our advantage. And I think there's a simple setup here. It does take some time from the play clock, so don't do this if you're running short on play clock. We want to motion over our RB receiver and then put them on a slant. And then we want to take the X receiver and put them on an out. So if you look here, we're going to have two easy reads. We're going to throw to RB or we're going to throw to this halfback. The halfback wheel route, you can hit short, you can hit medium, and you can hit deep. Just depends on the coverages, the quarterback, the situation. I like to pass lead that throw. Sometimes it's to the left, sometimes it's to the right. So pass leading on the inside and possession catching is really good, especially if you've got that backfield mismatch or backfield master on your running back. So let's hike the ball here, see if Pascal's open. If not, our wheel route should be. I'm going to pass lead it over here, possession catch. If you get hit by a hard-hitting free safety there like Taylor Mays, he could pop the ball out. So once again, we want RB on this slant. We want X on the out route. We're going to motion over RB, and we're going to make sure we let him set before we hike the ball. We're looking at RB. Is he open? Is he open? He is open. We're going to hit him right here. We'll just possession catch that, move on. But once again, a fast receiver, open space. We like seeing that. Motion over Pascal, put him on the slant, put X on this out route. We let him set. All right, we throw to Pascal, we throw to the running back. Looks like Pascal got dunked on the line, but we'll just chuck it up to our halfback here. That shouldn't happen like that. But practice mode, for some reason, your guys get stopped on the line all the time. All right, so we'll make our adjustments. Pascal slant, X on the out, and then we're going to look here. If he doesn't get hit at the line here, he was going to be wide open on that pass. So Pascal, open once again. Maybe we're going to possession catch this. Make sure we're throwing it maybe low point pass to keep it in front of the defense. But another great play. And if you throw this a couple times to Pascal, then they start paying attention to it. All of a sudden, this halfback wheel route opens up, and look at this guy. Possession catch this. We're wide open. If Wentz could actually throw that with some velocity, the ball's getting there much, much sooner. Motion him over. X on the out. RB on the slant. Wait for him to set. We hike. Pascal looks bagged. Wheel route open. Possession catch. Boom. That's mesh post. And if you're getting pressure, what have we done this entire video when we get pressure? Almost every single time. We do the same play art. We do the same setup. And you're right. Block the tight end. Now your play art looks like this. So if you are getting pressure and you want to run mesh posts, blocking your tight end is not a bad idea. Seems like a lot of people will try and blitz you on third down, fourth down. So I will block this tight end if I do run this on third down or fourth down. But as you look, halfback wheel route, one play touchdown against a lot of different coverages if it develops properly. Final play, Verts halfback under, or just Verts for short. It's very powerful as well. The route that we have on our RB receiver gets open against a lot of different coverages. With a couple quick setups, you could be burning people left and right with this play. So the first setup I like is just put the halfback on an out route to the left here. And when we hike, we could see Pascal getting ready to be open, or we're going to dump it off to our halfback. Just depends. Pascal looks like he's going to be bagged. Halfback's going to be open here. Good 5, 6, 8 yards. Break a tackle, maybe some more. But sometimes when you run that setup, just halfback on the out route, maybe not this one. We could see Pascal. Yep, here we go. If that's a fast receiver and a quarterback with velocity, that could be a touchdown. It could be a lot longer. It could be a big rack catch. But quite often, just putting this halfback on this out route here and running this play like this, our RB receiver is going to be open a lot. Now, there are a couple different setups that we could use as well. Let's keep that halfback on the out route, and then let's block our tight end, and then let's streak the circle receiver. So now it looks like this. The read is very similar, but against different coverages, you may need this or you may need the extra blocker. I've seen people motion out dueling. I don't normally do it on this play, but you could if you want to have some disguising coverages. And if RB, yep, here we go, possession catch sideline. This is a great play. The desperation type play, maybe end of half, end of game. I'm going to block my running back. I'm going to streak my tight end. And then I'm going to put the B receiver on an out route. And so that could open up Pascal, or that could open up the tight end. And if you're desperation anyways, maybe we're just going to heave it up and see, can the tight end make a play against one-on-one? Who knows? I'll pass lead it this way. Probably not on this. This wasn't a great coverage for it. But desperation, end of the game, could be your RB, could be your tight end. So once again, we want to streak the tight end. We want to put B on an out, and we want to block our halfback just for that extra help. Let's see, maybe Pascal opens up on this one, I think. Yep. So if he's speedy and we get velocity, you can see how that can be a touchdown. But halfback verts, it's very popular. I don't run it near as often as most people. I'm just not as aggressive going for those one-play touchdowns or those deep passes. We pull it out when we need to, but I like to save them too. Because if you've been dinking and dunking with flood and mesh post and these other plays, and then you bust this out on somebody, they're like, what? Where did that come from? I wasn't even paying attention. And also, look, if you got a speedy running back, you can roll out on this play for big chunks of yardage, especially against man coverage. So halfback verts is very, very powerful. I just like to save it. And quite often, most of these games don't even make it to the point where we even have time. Now, as we misthrow another one, we don't even have time to bust out these plays because they quit in the first quarter. Okay, if that seemed like a lot, it's not. It just takes some time. It takes some reps. We do want to stress some things though. One, you want to be on a hash as often as possible in this offense. Two, flipping your bunch receivers to where they have the most open space. That is a key ingredient to running this. And three, the inside zone setups we showed you at the beginning. We have to mix those in with those pass plays. Otherwise, we become really predictable. So if you like what you see, I think you know what to do. If you do have additional comments or questions, hit us up down below or find us on Twitter at DadBrowGaming. We are never going to tell you that we're a top 100 weekend league player and you should listen to everything we say. But I think this is the foundation for Gun Bunch Offset and the foundation for you making your own reads, understanding defenses more, and getting out of the monotony of just running the rock all the time. Come on, it's John Madden NFL football. Throw the rock. So until next time, goodbye. All right, if you've been in weekend league, head-to-head, or heck, even house rules, and you've had a desync occur where the game is just wiped out, most of the time that's somebody using an exploit. So if you go to EA, you can actually report them. Make sure you clip it. Look at the desync reporting tool here on Answers HQ. When you look up the reporting tool, you fill out all this information, you upload the clip, and let's get these parasites out of the game. Okay?
Daddy, are you here?